Who is Jim Black?
Oh, come on. I'm just trying to play music.
What kind of music? There is no one style.
Well, that's the point. Well, for me, I don't even know if I would have made a solo album when I did. Had in Winter asked me to do something. I had known Stefan with Tim Byrne and with Uri Kane, and he approached me, and I don't even think he really knew what I did musically as a composer, but he just trusted me on that. And so at that point, I was doing so many different bands that I felt kind of fulfilled in what I was doing. I felt like, wow, there's really no need for me to do my own project. But in every creative artist's, notebook, there lies ideas that don't get a place normally. Ideas that maybe can't work here or don't fit in there. And I sort of took those ideas and figured out, like, wow, all right, here's what I'll use to make an album with. And I called three other guys that I had been playing with 10 years before, where we met the first time, Hilmar Jensson, Skulli Sverisson, and Chris Speed. We had recorded an album of Hilmar's music in Iceland that never was released. And we even sent it to Stefan Winter at JMT at the time, but we never heard back, even though he denies that. So 10 years later, I recorded the same band for him as the Last No Axis, my music, but still, that I remember Hilmar bringing us to Iceland to make that album, and that was a big, we were 23 years old or 24 years old, and that was a big musical awakening for us. You go through stages where you realize different things, and playing with those guys for me was a big eye-opener. And A Last No Axis ultimately was my chance to get to be the composer, the singer-songwriter, because I would compose all the music on guitar and write it out for the band, and it's just sort of getting to fulfill my fantasy as a songwriter in a sense. And it changes through time, but 4 albums on, I'm really happy with the results, and I'm working on a 5th one now. I'm only concerned about how it sounds. I want to be a novice listener when I play. I want to be a novice listener when I go home and turn on the stereo. If it turns me on, yes. If it doesn't, cool, I'll check it out another day. But I don't want to play like a musician. I don't, whatever that means, all that music school damage and all those years of too many hours in the practice room. I think it's possible to divorce yourself from that and start fresh in a way, but with the wisdom that all those hours added up and produced. Because you can't do that overnight. It takes hours of work. But hopefully in the end you're doing it for the right reasons.
7 minutes. So, 7 minutes? Okay. I have to see the time. But Stuttgart is #1 of the league.
Yeah.
They are the best team.
So it's...
the Nürnbergers, they are doing okay, but, they should actually win, because after the Verlängerung, it's Elfmeterschießen, from 11 meters, they shoot the ball in the goal, right? And psychologically, it's very bad to get there, since you couldn't win with 11 against 10. You know what I mean? Right.
Of course you need technique to be able to pull that off, but the technique always serves the music, not the other way around. And that's a big difference from maybe how I was raised, going to the Berkeley School where you saw, you know, limitless hours of working on something like technique. And as a drummer, it's almost a disease to learn how to play before even having a reason to play. And that's a big change for me, and made me realize something about maybe just to have every stroke that I play actually have a reason to exist versus just being an automatic response of being a drummer. Or, you know, it's one thing when you're young to learn how it goes. You know, it goes like this and the limbs move and things fall that way, but later on you realize, like, wow, there's something very subtle and amazing about exactly the way one note hits and how that hand comes down, and that those produce sounds. It's no different than a beautiful melody that a vocalist would sing. It can be the same thing. And the best players play this way. My heroes always, I mean, that's the elusive thing. It's not the notes, it's why. And when you hear someone like Steve Jordan play a groove, or Steve Gadd play a groove, or Paul Motion play a swing feel, it's amazing, because it's just they're playing what they lived. They're playing their heart, and I can hear this in every musician I work with. It's not the notes, it's not the dazzle or the display. It's why.